So we've been with Real for 4.5 years now. We started when there were 20 agents here in San Diego, and I think now there's over 1,500 agents in San Diego, which is pretty wild.
COVID was not kind to the events industry. And you had said at the beginning of COVID, when we immediately shut down, was, hey, you'd be a great transaction coordinator. And I was like, maybe.
What is going on, everyone? My name is Dan. This is my lovely wife, Stephanie, and we are the owners of the Best Life Home Team here in San Diego, California. And I think today we're just going to tell you a little bit about our story, some lessons learned, and kind of where our business is heading to the future. So what do you think about that stuff?
Let's get started.
This is, I think, your first time being on a podcast or doing anything like this. You feeling comfortable right now?
Oh, yeah. I'm channeling my inner Amy Poehler. Good hang.
Perfect.
I'm going to be on the Ina Garten episode. So
okay, I love that. There you are. So maybe we can start a little bit. So we've been with Real for 4.5 years now. We started when there were 20 agents here in San Diego, and I think now there's over 1,500 agents in San Diego, which is pretty wild. We're doing more and more transactions with other agents who are real agents on the other end, which is really cool to see. And I guess we could start a little bit about how we started our business. When we started, I was a solo agent. It was a couple of years, several years before we even got started. And really, when I started to see my success happen was at the beginning of COVID. And I was doing YouTube videos about moving to San Diego County and really building an attraction-based business. And you were doing something completely different at the time. You want to talk about that a little bit?
yeah, I had an events company. We specialize in farm-to-table events, highlighting our local farmers, our artisans, our craftsmen. And of course, like COVID was not kind to the events industry. And you had said at the beginning of COVID, when we immediately shut down, was, hey, you'd be a great transaction coordinator. And I was like, maybe. And it was cool that obviously you took the chance on me because you're my husband. But a couple other agents that you worked with took a chance on me too. And so I was able to get my feet wet in the real estate industry while my events company was opening one day and then closing the next and opening back up. And then fully joining our Best Life Home Team in the beginning of 2022 when I simultaneously closed my events business. So
yeah, luckily, I mean, we're at this position where we were both like going for our dream and building our own business. And honestly, there was a time where we were both thinking, if your business takes off, I might stop what I'm doing and helping you, and vice versa. And COVID was not good to the events industry, but now here we are, and we're loving life and we're loving the business that we're building. But I think what's unique about what we built, because there's a lot of people out there that want to start teams and, maybe want to bring their significant other onto their team. In the beginning, A, you had some hesitations of being like fully on board with the team. And also B, we were very strategic about what your role was going to be so that you weren't so we didn't build a business that we're both stuck in all the time. That's kind of the goal. Like you are not licensed. You don't show homes.
correct.
And you have I
like my weekends.
Yes. Yeah. Very nice. You have a very unique role on our team. You want to talk a little bit about how that started and, how we built it out?
Yeah. So I definitely had, I think it was a little bit, honestly, imposter syndrome getting started with you, closing my business and then trying to find my way in what my ego was telling me was your business. And then just getting comfortable with becoming a equal partner and an owner in the success and the building of our future in that. So, it took me a minute to arrive. But it's been great. And then figuring out a way, like you said, to be able to work in the business, but us as a unit, not be so stuck that we can't travel and we can't do things that, we work so hard to have a good quality of life, but then you work so hard that you don't get to enjoy that quality of life is huge. And I think that that's an easy trap for people to fall into when you get started. Husband and wife teams for sure. A husband and wife team.
Again, I think a lot of people want to be in this situation or they're trying to figure it out. And so one of the biggest things I could say is like, learn from others. Within our brokerage, there are masterminds. There are so many people that are in similar situations. Like, just raise your hand and see who wants to talk about those types of things, because that helped us so much when we started building a team. And there are things you hear over and over again. Like a small team, we have agents on our team. It's really hard to be profitable. And so we've gone through a bunch of different phases in this while you started to join our team full time. You've been, full time on our team for like 3 years now?
Approaching 4, yeah.
Yeah. And so now you're our director of hospitality. You do the transaction coordination, but then basically as soon as we're under contract to forever, you're staying in touch with those clients. And so that's what's unique about what you're doing. You're keeping them in our sphere. You're increasing the repeat and referral business. You're building community and all that stuff. But I think when we first started a team, I was like one of the many agents out there that I just thought, all right, we just need a bunch of agents, and then we're gonna make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And it's not really how it works for most teams and most agents. And I don't know, you have any thoughts on that, or maybe some lessons learned, story time, anything like that?
Yeah. And I think that's, kind of where we actually didn't agree in that starting that phase of our business was you wanted to scale. And I was nervous about that. And because I feel like, also for us, when we have such a client hospitality driven focus. I mean, we all care about our clients in this industry, but I think that having our background in hospitality and then our client retention programs that we have being such a forefront of what we do, I was nervous to scale at a rate that we would lose that and we would lose the consistency of that with our client experience. So, I think that the path that we ended up with is a good one, and we still tweak that. It's like we have had amazing agents on our team, and agents usually join teams to learn how to grow their business. And then when they learn how to grow their business and they become really great, you can't count on them to stay on your team forever. So it's been really cool to help our team members grow and then watch them spread their wings and, pursue their business how they want. And know that we've set them up in a foundation for success, and to watch them crush it outside of our team. Yeah, of course, are we upset to lose them? Yeah, because they meant a lot to us and they still mean a lot to us. But I think growing on that micro level has helped us. And then to not be chasing the big teams, big teams, more headache, more expenses, more hand-holding, more babysitting, more meetings. I don't know, all of that just is, it works for some people and then it doesn't work for some people. So I think just, knowing that, and then being the husband and wife team, making sure you're on the same page with these, growth stages is really important, and it has been important to us. And they've, of course, been hard conversations, and sometimes we've had to agree to disagree and, trust one person's, gut more than the other and adjust accordingly. I
think the dream for most agents when they start is, I want to get out of production. I don't want to sell homes anymore. And so you think, all right, I bring on 2 or 3 agents. I want to sell homes anymore. Guess what? You're just going to have to do everything twice as hard because there's a lot more on your plate. There's a lot more you have to do. And the profitability from your personal production versus handing off leads and training other agents is like just so much higher that it's really hard to offset that. And the truth is, we know team leaders who have some massive teams that make way more money for their own personal production than they do from their team. They're still in production. And it's like they're making pennies off of their team. And so it's not that there's no way to make that profitable, but I think there is a little mindset adjustment where it's like you definitely need to figure out, especially in the very beginning, the solution is not just more bodies. More bodies is more headaches, more expenses. Now, and because this is a podcast for real agents, we're constantly thinking of how do we become more profitable? That's what we're obsessed with these days. We have an accountant that we work with that specializes in working with small team leaders in real estate. And so he knows exactly right off the bat what all of our numbers and margins should look like. That's helped a lot. Where with Real, guess what? There's other ways to make money. And so we had a real hard conversation after last year when we realized the revenue from revenue share and the revenue from the production of our team was the same. But the expenses on the revenue from the team was significant. The expenses on the revenue share was 0. So we had a real hard look at that. And so I don't know, it's a tough spot because personally, I'm really passionate about leading and helping other people grow. And
you're good at it. And I think
love that
where
part.
You shine for sure.
So I never want to give that up.
Right.
I'm always of the mindset of like, I don't know, there have been very few times with our business, I think only once, where like actively go out and try and recruit agents to our team. But I'm always of the mindset of we're ready to bring the right person on. The right person comes into contact with us and we think they'd be a great addition to the team and they're open to having that conversation, we'll have that conversation. But yeah, I think we're getting a lot more strategic on how we want to grow the team moving forward and really focusing on profitability. I think the next phase for us is really SWAT team. How do we get operations, showing assistants, all the things so that we can just be, just extremely profitable, but then also have these members on our team who can have a consistent inflow of money because I think that's going to also help with retention as well.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
I know I'm blabbering about a bunch of different things. We have talked about the challenge of agent retention, but I will say something that we actually do a really good job of. And I think maybe that'd be good for people to hear is like, all right, so we do have a team. We do have team members. What does that structure look like as far as like, what are we offering for them? And what is our like on a weekly basis? What are the things that we're inviting them into, the conversations we're having, the meetings? Like, do you maybe want to break that down a little bit? Because I feel like we were able to build something that is pretty darn successful as far as them being happy with what we're doing and how we're training them and how we're helping them get business.
Yeah, for sure. I think, aside from we have awesome meetings and we collaborate with other small teams and small team leaders, which I think is invaluable because, it's one thing to hear your boss's viewpoint, but it's another to hear another person's boss's viewpoint. I think those are awesome. And then we have just, ways that we have weekly accountability that we're checking in with them. But I think where the kind of bread and butter for our agents is our client care programs and systems that we have that are just a part of, the cut that we take or they give us from their business. So our events, anything that we do for client care, even from, their closing gifts, those are all included in our agents, I don't know what is the word I'm looking
Just
for.
what we're offering.
What
for
we
them.
offer, yeah.
Or like USP for the agents, like why join
Yeah.
the Best Life Home Team?
Yeah.
Like we have a real hard conversation up front. It's not because I'm going to give you so many leads that you can build a business off of these leads. Certainly we'll give you leads. We will give you some easy deals. We'll give you some leads to work. But the biggest thing that we're saying is A, we're going to help you build a business that's sustainable. And B, we're going to help you increase repeat and referral business with all the client care in the community that you've built.
Right. And it's a no-brainer slam dunk. Like I'm nurturing everybody's SOI for them without them really having to lift a finger. And it's really cool because the different programs that we've put into place, like our agents at literally any single day of the year can offer their clients something for free that's tangible with no strings attached.
Yeah.
And I think that has really helped us to stay top of mind with people. Like how many times do you think we have at our events or in our newsletters, I don't know, explicitly asked for a referral?
Mm-hmm.
Like we just don't, and we don't have to, which is really cool. And I think that has, come with time. And of course now our clients in our community, our buyers are becoming sellers, and we're getting that ripple effect of their loyalty to us is now we're just getting to expand our client community, which has been really, really cool.
Yeah, I think, and to be fair, there's always room for improvement. I think we probably could find some strategic ways to ask for referrals, and I think that would help improve.
Yeah.
We do some like kind of tricky ways, like Trojan horse it a little bit, and at events, we'll publicly praise the people that have recently given us referrals.
Yeah.
And so that encourages more people to do so. I think one other thing that I would highly recommend, we started doing this last year for our team, is we built out something to where when someone joins our team, there's a time period where they have to get a very specific items done in a specific amount of time before they can officially join our team. And so what we call that is our boot camp. So we're like very explicit about here's what our team is about. Here are things that we care about. Here are the things we want you to align with. And then here's our boot camp. Here's this list of things that we need you to get done in the first 30 days. If it takes you 31 days, sorry, you're not joining our team. We want to give you, we're happy to be a partner with you here at Real. We're happy to support you in other ways, but we want to make sure that these agents are going to follow through with the things they're going to say they're going to follow through with. Because we've seen this time and time again. The talk is cheap.
Yeah.
Obviously, like our industry is not difficult in terms of like, it's not difficult to know what to do to get business. You have conversations with people that lead into real estate. It is hard to follow through with that, as we see time and time again, which we understand, but we want to make sure people can do that before they officially join our team, because we're putting so many resources into them. So we have a 30-day boot camp that is a combination of training, onboarding, and then also actually going out and doing some work, making a specific amount of calls to our database, holding their own open houses, getting a buyer lead in. We're giving them some options there, but they have to complete every single thing on that list. And then it shows us that they're willing to pick up the phone to make calls, they're willing to put things into action to actually get business moving forward. And so I think that was a really big, thing that we added to our team that I'd recommend for everyone to do.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that it's like one of those things where it's a good, probationary period to just like put your money where your mouth is.
Yep.
If you can't follow, like literally, if you can't follow a list, I can't expect you to implement all these other cool things that we offer that you get to gain as being a part of our team. So if you can't do the basics, I can't expect you or rely on you to do the things that we are actually really good at. So that definitely, like, figuring out a benchmark in your business to know who is the right fit is crucial.
I think maybe just because it's fresh, we can take a little segue here and talk about collaboration over competition and this really cool Further Together event that we just put on. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that was awesome. So that was my first public facing event that I've produced with ticket sales since I shut down my business, which was
Do you want to say real quick what it is for anyone that's listening and doesn't know what Further Together is?
Yeah. So Further Together is an agent-led, essentially mini conference. It's led by the local real partners of the area. It's hosted nationwide, kind of during the same 4 to 8 weeks per year. So kind of think of it as like a Further Together roadshow. And it's for agents by agents. So it was really cool to be a part of that. Mostly I got to do all the behind the scenes. Legwork. So lucky, so blessed. But yeah, it was really fun. And it reminded me of, because, since I've shut down my events business, I've basically only been throwing events for our clients where they're not paying for shit. They get to show up. They know they're going to have a good time. They know I throw a good time and everything's taken care of. So it was a really cool way for me to dip my toes back into these public facing events where, we're needing to get sponsorship. We're needing to get people's buy-in for ticket sales. We need to sell tickets.
Yeah.
And then to have all of the collaboration within our local real family was really, really cool. Yeah. And then also our family beyond real, we had a handful of collaborators on that event that weren't in our real family, that aren't in our real family, that we just love. They're good people in our industry. And it was really cool to just produce something that was really valuable for people. Yeah,
it was very gratifying because, like I said, I really enjoy helping other people win, helping other agents win. And that's where one of the many things where I really feel connected with the brokerage because that is, like I said, collaboration over competition. It's one of our core values. Work hard, be kind. Yeah. And so to put on this event where we had 14 speakers, we had a coach from Buffini, we had agents from different brokerages, and then we had a room full of over 100 agents from all these different brokerages.
And tacos.
And beer. And just overall, it was very cool to be able to experience that. Now, one thing we didn't realize is just quite how much work it was to get the sponsors, get the speakers, and then how much legwork it was to get over 100 agents into the room. But it's so cool to have those opportunities. So if anyone listening, hears of a Further Together event, please support it. Help the agent that's putting it on because it's a lot of work and there was so much value at the end. So it was totally worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Steph, should we maybe end this on what are you looking forward to most over the next year with our business or anything specifically with Real Broker?
That's a good question. On a personal level for our team, I'm looking forward to getting our SWAT team dialed in. I know we are ready to bring on a couple of VAs and, expand our level of support that we're getting. I'm looking forward to that. I'm also the nerd in me, and shout out to Andy at Simple Numbers. We'll love this, but we are implementing the Profit First model.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which is going to be a little bit of an undertaking.
Which, real quick, Profit First, the book, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Helps you get all your numbers in line. And not only get your numbers in line, but focus on pulling your profit out before doing anything else.
Yeah.
And so it just gets you to think about everything a little bit differently, which we've been wanting to implement forever, and we're about to hit the green button on it.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that because that just feels like a no-brainer in our business. I feel like, in an industry where your paychecks come and go and money comes and goes, having a system in place. I mean, I don't know, maybe everybody listening already has a system in place, but
Yeah.
Getting one in place is, is the gold standard. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to also just, loving on our community continually and, just providing that level of service that they're used to. I think that I really get lit up when I see our clients in our community gather. So continuing that. I don't know. What are you looking forward to?
And we're getting better at our systems too. So that helps with all of that.
Yeah.
I think, I built a team off of helping people move to the county. Now we're really focusing on Carlsbad, which is like a North County suburb in San Diego County, which is where we live and where our office is. And so I think focusing more on that geographic area, building more of a local business is great. We've been working on it for a while. And then just also this point in our career where, about 9 years in, my career has mostly been super buyer heavy. And so now we're finally getting on the other side of that where we're getting more and more listings, which is very cool. So building that aspect of our business, and then also just finding more agents to connect and collaborate and grow with, not just in our brokerage, outside of our brokerage for traction purposes, sure, but also just because the flip side of that coin is it just helps you be very open to other agents about what's working, what's not working. Every time in my career where I've gotten to this point where I've made some huge progress is because I'm having those conversations. And then also we're considering some coaching right now as well. So yeah, I would say those are the things that we're focused on building, and I'm really looking forward to this year. And then maybe I'll add one more. Sorry, it's like a million different things, more than one thing. But just we're at a unique point with technology right now. It's changing on a daily basis, and I'm grateful and thankful to be somewhere where we prioritize the technology.
Yeah,
and we're
for sure.
building that infrastructure from the ground up. And so I think all those things are going to really help us build our business long term as long as we're able to adapt to those new opportunities.
Are you looking at me because I'm the 90-year-old in a millennial body?
Yes, we're going to need some help on this, but
somebody help me.
Somebody help Stephanie. Anyone, please help Stephanie. We'd love that. But yeah, I think that's all we got for today. Anything else you want to end it with?
No, it's all good. Yeah.
All right, cool.